Hello, welcome back to Small Time Critics. My name is Mohammed Hashi, and this is a momentous day. We are talking about something that is incredible. Before we get into it, let me talk to my guy and introduce the main man who's about to get a phone call.
Come on, you know, bro, I'm busy, G.
Busy.
I'm getting a call. I don't worry, I called him back.
All right.
Go on. Man, like
By the name of.
TRIZLUCENT.
Thank you very much.
Joined by.
We got some returning champions, as we like to say. We got the youngest in charge. You know what I mean? To my left. You know what I mean? Eli, what are you saying, brother?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Yeah? Good,
The saying is on my left, but
I mean,
On your left, innit?
just saying.
this guy, look at
Just
him.
saying.
bro.
You gotta get right, bro.
He was getting at me the other day about Shabu. I was like, "No, it's Shabu." I'm like, get out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
And we have another returning champion. I think this is your hat trick, right?
Yeah, it is my hat trick.
Bro, we've got Junior in the building from OUTTAKE Network, bro.
Jeez.
Come on now, bro.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
for
sir.
having
Hat trick
me,
hero.
guys. Hat trick
I'm
hero,
saying.
you know.
And as you can see from the thumbnail, we are talking about the comeback of the year so far, right?
I guess so.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's comeback of the year.
Yeah.
right?
So far? Sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We
Maybe a
got
resurgence more, but then
resurgence.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're living under, we're talking about Thunderbolts. You know what I'm saying? The new Marvel entrant for this year. The 36th film, right? 36?
This is 36.
Yeah, bro. 36th film in the franchise. And I believe this is the last film of Phase 5.
That's correct.
Wait, is for real?
Yeah.
Ironheart will be the last series of Phase 5. That'll be
Okay.
the last one to end it all off.
There's only been one blade. There's only ever gonna be one blade.
Ending with a whimper, as they say from Wind River. But yeah, anyway. But you never know, it could be good. Who knows? Why am I giving that mad
straight
strays? Well,
away,
that's
it's
mad. That's mad for me, innit? That's mad for me.
Sorry, there hasn't been a trailer yet. It's out in a month, just saying. Sorry.
Oh yeah, we should be worried about that.
Sorry, you should be worried.
I think it's out in like 29 days.
Yeah,
And
but
then
let's not
the
go off track.
trailer.
Let's not go off topic.
Anyway, Thunderbolts. Guys, we had an experience in the multiplex when we all saw this. And I just want to get some initial thoughts. You know, I'm going to start, you know what I mean, with the main man, Eli. Tell me just
Damn,
initial
okay.
thoughts, bro.
Wow. Initial thoughts. I think when I first watched it, I wasn't too keen on it, just because of all the shock factor and it like being so well done. I thought there was something I was missing. So when I saw it again, that's when I made my proper thoughts on the film. I thought it was really well done. I enjoyed every dynamic, every aspect of it. From the characters, the humor, the jokes, everything just hit for me, man. I really, really loved it. Yeah.
Okay. Junior.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same. Because unfortunately, I didn't watch it. You lot watched it before I got a chance to watch it.
Okay.
So, there was so much hype.
Yeah.
Everyone was just talking about how great this film is and how amazing it was. So I was really trying to like lower my expectations when I went to go watch it. I checked it out and it was definitely, I guess we can all agree, it was definitely a different vibe, a different feel than other Marvel films that we've seen before. So that took me a while for me to take that in. So when I first watched it, I didn't have much thoughts on it. I was like, okay, that movie was cool. Then when I took some time to sit down and really think about it, I started thinking about all the elements and different stuff they had within it. Yeah. And I was like, you know, this film was actually was really, really well done. And it was a new approach, a more mature approach that I think Marvel was taking that. Overall, I just thought it was a really fun, interesting film.
Yeah, I like that mature approach. That's a good way of putting it. And of course, the king of pop culture, what are you saying?
I mean, immediately, second I watched it, Eli, you sit behind me, no?
Yeah.
I turned around, I was like, you love that, right? You love that, right? I screwed it, but I guess he didn't. But, I mean, bro, Thunderbolts was lit for me, man. Thunderbolts was sick. Like, as someone that, like, kind of, I'm not even going to go into, like, mental health stuff and stuff like that, but you know what I'm saying? You know, when you just being able to put myself into the kind of shoes, not of a superhero, but I guess metaphorically, kind of have an understanding of what each character's kind of going through and what their own suffering is, like as a single person. I thought it was just a great way to spin a Marvel film, and I think it kind of definitely went back to the Phase 1, the Phase 2 kind of feeling of being able to be a film that doesn't have to feel connected to anything else. And I think what it did so great that I think a film like Deadpool Wolverine doesn't do is that because Deadpool Wolverine isn't technically, it's connected, right? But it doesn't kind of like push the narrative or anything like this. But Thunderbolts has a great way of being unconnected, but still being able to push the narrative, still being able to tell a great story, and still being able to have great themes. Do you know what I'm saying? And especially, obviously, I did the carpet for Thunderbolts in it as well. So I spoke to Jack Schreier, the director, kind of understanding, especially his backstory, the fact that he directed Beef,
Yes.
how successful that was and how amazing that was.
Paper Towns as well.
Do you know what I'm saying? And just kind of understanding the man, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then being able to have that conversation and then watch the movie, speaking with Lewis Pullman, all this kind of stuff, who I thought was just, you know what I'm saying, sorry bro, a Nepo baby or nothing or something like that, you know what I'm saying, bro? Honestly, bro, but the guy's actually got chops, bro, do you know what I'm saying? So coming out, I wish that I was able to see the film before I did the carpet.
Oh, yes.
It would have detailed my questions even more better. But fundamentally, bro, as a movie, standalone film, I thought it was fantastic, bro. I had a great time.
I echo a lot of the points that you guys have already made. And to add, for me, what I love about cinema is genre films. I always have loved genre films. That's one of the reasons why I love Tarantino so much, because he makes his films and he starts from the nexus point of a genre film and then having an overarching kind of theme or story that he's trying to tell in that kind of world. And this is basically a film about mental health inside a superhero film. Inside a machine that is so large and so ever moving, but still continuing the narrative of the phases and pushing us forward into the mutant phase 6 of the MCU in such a creative, fun way. And for me, having a film with such great performances, that's first and foremost, the performances were all great. We've had some films from the Marvel, like come on guys, we've had some really like bad films, quite literally bad films from Marvel in the last, I want to say 6 years. Like since Endgame, have we had a film that we can literally like put our hat on and say, yo, this is on the level of Phase 3?
No Way Home. Still stand by that.
Guardians 3. I don't know about when No Way Home.
Do you know what? I still, even me, Guardians 3,
No
I
Way
wasn't
Home is
even the
not a good
biggest fan
film,
of
bro.
Guardians 3.
Oh wow. Well,
No Way Home
Guardians
is not
3,
good.
that
Guardians
was
3
a
is good.
great, that was a great kind of like, that was going in the right direction. But
Yeah.
this for me was really great. And it's so great on so many different kind of levels, which we'll kind of get into in the review. But overall, a really, really great time for me in the multiplex, bro. And this is revived Marvel, in my opinion. Marvel is back because of this, no doubt.
I mean,
and look at the numbers, by the way, and the box office receipts as of now.
I mean,
as well.
you're saying the numbers, but I think if we can compare the box office to Marvel films, let's say maybe the last 5 or 6, bro, they're not doing great. Like they had a 50% drop off on the weekend.
Yes.
But if they had a 50% drop off and they made, like, normally Marvel movies open to $150 million. Do you know what I'm saying? This opened to 75. So.
But this is post-pandemic as well. You have to also remember that and factor that in. Again, you may say, I can already hear the argument, and I meant from the comments section saying Deadpool Wolverine was doing numbers and stuff like that. But again, that's a different animal.
That is a whole different thing, bro.
Yeah.
The two powerhouses between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, the return of Wolverine, things like that. And the marketing behind it was just insane. So, you know what I'm saying? It had so much going for it. It was ridiculous. But obviously, for me, honestly, I should say, Thunderbolts is the best thing that Marvel produced in years, bro.
Yep.
Produced in years. Go for it, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess technically Marvel is back.
Yeah.
The reason I say that because Bob Iger, obviously the CEO of Disney, said that Thunderbolts, this film is like the first film that they've done with their new approach of doing quality over quantity. So I guess that's showing a change with their films now.
Yeah.
So that they're actually focusing a lot more on like the creative side of things.
I mean, I definitely echo that because I spoke to Bob Chapek's son, Brian. I think it's Brian. Brian Chapek, and I asked him a question. I was like, you worked on movies like
Black Widow.
What I did was I picked the worst films, the ones that he's produced, right? So he's worked on films like Full Love and Thunder.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And obviously Black Widow as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad film.
So I used them two as kind of like as a starting point to say, what is it that you've basically done differently for this one? Like, what is it kind of what you did in the past where you thought things wasn't going right? What did you try and do differently here? And the main thing that he said was that it's all about pivoting, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's all about getting away from what was done wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And then he was like, but he said something that was very important where he said that the importance of the fans. Do you know what I'm saying? The importance of actually listening and then kind of like letting that not let that be the okay, we're making a movie because they want to have Century, but you know what I'm saying? Letting that kind of be the kind of in a sense governing body to kind of help dictate which kind of directions we take. Do you know what I'm saying? And how we progress the story. Because, bro, Jack Schreier,
Jake, by the way.
Sorry, Jake Schreier. This felt like even though Florence Pugh was the main character, it didn't just feel like it was just it has to be about. It wasn't like they kind of sometimes a lot of kind of reviews and people say like, oh, Marvel woke, you know what I mean? It's female boss and all that kind of stuff, bro. But this wasn't like that.
It's a true ensemble, right?
Do you know what I'm saying? It was a true ensemble story. Yeah. It had powerful characters in there, powerful women, powerful male characters, everything, bro. And at the end of the day, there was nothing about gender, nothing like that. It was all about actually like the person themselves and the mind, you know what I'm saying? And how everybody can go through so many different kind of turmoils, but we can always kind of find a balance between things, you know what I'm saying? Battling your deepest, darkest secrets, do you know what I'm saying?
That's a great segue, by the way, for us to kind of get into spoilers and talk about the overall narrative and what this film was fundamentally trying to say. So go ahead, Triz.
Nah, Eli can take that bit.
Okay.
Wait, whoa.
You were just about to get into it.
Yeah, you were so...
But I think I was going to be on a steamer over here, so I had to chill out a bit.
I hear it. Go on, Eli.
Nah, fair. I think just on that, to echo the whole point of how everyone kind of deals with things, one thing I thought the film did well was not to like make a joke out of it. Like, sure, there were jokes about it, like Yelena makes a joke and how you'll have to stuff it down and stuff, but then they go back on it and they didn't make it a thing of, oh yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. They actually show you how you definitely need people in your everyday life to kind of make it work. Like, there's a line where she says how she goes back home and she's on her phone and she drinks and she just keeps doing that and on and again. And like, it could be a throwaway line to most people, but like, if you've been in a situation like that, which a lot of the Thunderbolts would be, and a lot of other people that do mundane jobs, or like even jobs that would kind of seem cool, like, I don't know, people that do people like nurses and stuff like that, like things that you'd seem fulfilled by, but you don't get the fulfillment by. Like, it kind of tackles that. And I really enjoyed the aspect where like the void isn't necessarily a thing that's deeply based on your trauma. It could be based on everyday life. It could be based on the people you're surrounded by. It could be based on your trauma, but it focused on the fact that you don't deal with it alone, and that there's people that are around you and you can lean on them, and that's how you get pulled out of it. And I really, really enjoyed that aspect of the film.
I think, great point. And I think this film, basically, the themes of it being mental health and kind of like dissecting that and seeing how that affects people, and with loss, and especially loss in the world of the MCU and stuff like that, and the kind of the certain situations and certain plot points that have happened in the previous films, creating that kind of like lived in trauma was huge. And then having Sentry be quite literally be the physical manifestation of that, being the void, was really, really powerful for me.
Why do you think that there's so many parts of the fandom, this question to everybody, why do you think there's so many parts of the fandom have so much discourse about the film? Because everyone's like, oh, why would they basically make a movie that's about mental health? Why would they release it in Mental Health Month, Awareness Month, all this kind of stuff? And they're like, oh, there they go, pandering again, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, what kind of movie are you watching, bro? Or what do you think, what do you want to watch a movie? Or do you actually want to, you know what I'm saying? Or you just want to just see fucking Buzz Lightyear flying around the day all day long? You know what I'm saying? Do you actually want to watch something with actually substance? That's
a great question. And before I give it back to Junior, just to answer your point, I think life's a meritocracy, innit? If something is done well, like if the assignment is tell a cohesive story about mental health in the guise of a superhero film, if you literally like stick the landing, then how can anyone complain? Because that's what they did. Like, the film is a really, really good film. This is a very, very good film. And it works on every single narrative level in terms of pushing the narrative in regards to MCU and pushing us forward into phase 6. It does that. Yeah. In terms of character development, it does that. In terms of setting up a whole new team, it does that. It literally ticks all the boxes. So how can anyone complain unless you have an agenda? That's my opinion.
I think some fans are I think there's a lot of fans that stuck to the same format with Marvel films of having the big bad fight. I think everyone wanted a big bad fight, a big boss fight at the end of the film. I think when I watched it, when I had the ending scene, of course, when they end up going into the void, I realized, okay, wait, we're not going to get the punching and the huge explosion. We're going to get something a little bit more substance. And I think there's a lot of Marvel fans that kind of felt like that was a cheap way to end the film. I saw an interview with the director where he kind of explained that obviously the Thunderbolts, there's no way they can beat Sentry, like physically, like there was no way for them to do that. So how do we visually tell a story about them defeating him without actually physically doing it. So he made a point and made sure that there's a scene where they actually go into the void where it's a little bit more visually interesting to go in there and see the trauma and see stuff that Bob was going through. I feel like this film really made it. I think this is probably Marvel's most relatable film to the average people, the average working class, like Elijah was mentioned.
I agree, bro. Honestly, I think this is one of the best movies, bro. I think it's one of the best movies. Like, it reminds me a little bit of like, see how Black Panther was kind of, because that movie means that movie got problems, so you know what I'm saying. But what Black Panther being, you know what I mean, what the kind of outlaying actual point of Black Panther being, obviously then it was kind of plagued by MCU nonsense when it goes into the CGI crap in the end. You know what I'm saying? Which for me was just unnecessary. Yeah. And I think what Thunderbolts does is, or what I should say, the whole Marvel team, Kevin Feige, Chapek, all these guys, Jake, all these people have worked together and realized that it doesn't essentially have to have anything like that. We can actually just make a good movie. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I felt, me personally, if they just had flipping Captain Marvel busting the doors out of nowhere, do you know what I'm saying? And be like, I'm fighting you, Sentry, now. It's me and you. Do you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, bro, what the hell is this, bro? You just ruined a great film. Not that wouldn't be a cool fight, You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but it's unnecessary, bro. You know what I'm saying? You could, like, and it's like, it's basically what Captain America Brave New World thought it was doing. Do you know what I'm saying? By having Red Hulk and Sam Wilson's characters fight each other, and him basically doing the Natasha Romanoff, like, it's okay, it's getting dark now kind of thing, to chill out, all that kind. Like, bro, it doesn't, you can't use those kind of things if it doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas we all know Sentry is gonna whoop the shit out of the Thunderbolts,
and that's what they did such a good job of having. What's Florence Pugh's character name?
Yelena.
Like, from the beginning, we saw the chemistry between herself and Bob and how they relate to one another. And they did a really good job starting that from the beginning, because if you didn't get that, then how they defeat him at the end would have felt flat and would have just felt like Captain America.
It's even a great because I know White Russell's character, US agent, I don't think he even called himself the US agent yet in this. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just even getting substance to his story, do you know what I'm saying? Seeing him reading the articles about himself, like failed Captain America, all that kind of stuff, where he's got his newborn and he's with his wife.
But the thing is, to be able to see that from the perspective of the Sentry kind of like...
Yeah, bro.
Thing.
Yeah. Bro, wait, can you swear in here?
Huh? Yeah, he's been swearing all day.
Because I feel like he's like the most likable dickhead, like in the whole. Yeah, I mean, because he's actually an arsehole.
Bro, Bob says it, bro. He says you're an asshole.
Like, he must be Captain America.
This was the most self-aware Marvel film I've actually just watched, bro. And but like, obviously, I know it just doesn't have the spectacle that a lot of people kind of want and that kind of stuff. Yeah, but it's like, I feel like, bro, films need to be more than just spectacle sometimes, especially a franchise that they don't just make one movie, they make tens of movies, bro. Series a year, do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's a lot of content that they're making, so you can have a one. It's fine to have a one, you know, because when me and him walked out of Deadpool and Wolverine, bro, I said, bro, that's a 6.5, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? It was fun.
No, we were like, we loved the cameos, but we were very honest with ourselves and said, all right, we know we just were nostalgia dumped on, kind of thing, but if we look at the narrative, there wasn't much there, kind of thing. So we had to be honest with ourselves and say, all right, this is a 6.5. At best, like, if someone said it's a 7, I could maybe hear that argument, but you're right, it was 6.5. We both agreed at the same time.
Telling me it was a 9. I was
like, I
remember, I saw that video. I was like,
bro.
But then that's what I think like Marvel kind of needs. They need to have, well, I think they're doing it now, but have those fan service movies, but also give us some more Thunderbolts. So there's a nice balance.
That's what I'm trying to say. When you're making, if a whole phase has got like 10 movies and then fucking 6 series at the same time, bro. Not everything has to be a spectacle, bro. Doomsday, Secret Wars. You know what I'm saying? The Doomsday and Secret Wars become great because of films like Thunderbolts. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's laid the groundwork.
Exactly.
And that's the importance of these type of films. Like, if I think back to like Iron Man, and I think back to like Winter Soldier, and I think back to, I'm trying to think of like films that were very, very good in the MCU that really kind of propel the story forward. Even the first 4, directed by, bizarrely enough, by Kenneth Branagh, by the way, that really kind of set up the character. You know what I'm saying? Cool. I mean, but then obviously we're not going to talk about Dark World, but you know what I mean? But again, there's these kind of films.
I actually don't think Dark World.
Bro, I watched some video yesterday, bro. Donnie said, Don was like literally, For the Dark World is better than Thunderbolts, and I was like, bro,
whoa.
these man got
these-
agenda.
I wouldn't go that far,
That's-
but
that-
Bro, I was like,
You're not talking in good faith when you speak like that.
I was
Honestly,
like,
it's
bro,
ridiculous.
come on, bro. You either didn't watch the movie or you just got an agenda, bro.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I think for me, of course, I would have liked a couple more kind of action set pieces. But again, the way the kind of film ended and the way the story was unfolding, it made sense for the film.
Yeah,
I was like, as someone who loves a great action set, as you guys already know, I was like, okay, I didn't get one here, but I understand why I didn't.
I don't think
but
it
also,
would have made it better though.
I don't. To be fair,
I don't think the movie would have been made better by a massive action set piece.
Yeah.
if you got a character that we wanted to see like get into a fight with Sentry, I think that could have been good.
Who?
Again, it's very important who it is.
It would have been
You know
good,
what I'm
but then it would have been wasted.
It would have to be someone like Captain Marvel or like Gaia from Secret
And that's so
Invasion,
random.
which would be very random.
That's
Do you know
too
what I
soon.
mean?
That's
Like,
too soon for me.
No, that would be good. Where we-
she's the
we
only
random.
person
true,
right
it's
now
true.
that can fight him.
But
Yeah.
this is what I'm
But
trying
she's
to
nowhere
say.
to be seen.
What I'm trying to say
true.
to have a cohesive story, a strong narrative, bro. Jay Schreier, bro, he put out a
Yeah.
great movie, bro. That's
Yeah.
for me. That when I walked out there, bro, I said, bro, that's Marvel's first. That's the first movie I'm giving 8.5 just because of the movie alone. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not just about whatever had these beats of whatever this and that and that and that, bro. This movie because this movie hit me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, bro?
Yeah.
Even when Bob was saying about. He's like, bro, I was on meth. Do you know what I'm saying?
I was on meth.
Yeah, you was
I was even surprised. I said,
Yeah.
I was on the meth. Fuck.
No, you said you relate. Oh,
Cheers, is that you, yeah?
Nah, gee.
We just got a clip, guys. We just got a clip.
Nah. Shout out my boys though, but you know what I'm saying. But fam, even just real life stuff. I was even surprised that Marvel put that in the movie, bro.
I was
Yeah.
surprised.
Saying I was on meth.
And even having an abusive father figure.
Yeah,
Even
bro.
the flashbacks, his father was like being abusive
Bro.
to the mother and himself. That was,
And the mother also saying, "Look, you can't protect me." You see, like
Yeah.
blaming
that
him
mom
was
did-
crazy.
The only thing saying that it'd be good to find out what you guys didn't like about the film. But the only thing I would say
couple
about the
things,
movie that I didn't like,
Yeah.
is that I felt it could have been shorter. That's my only thing.
really?
This
I
is
thought it was- I
this
thought it
is
was
one
nice
thing.
pace.
This is one thing I was very surprised when you said this coming out of the cinema. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
what? I
Like
was
for me,
more.
I am the kind of like runtime police, and I didn't say a single word.
There was a thing that like that scene with Yelena replaying that moment
Yeah,
there
yeah.
where she's like she basically got her friend killed or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's part of the test. Yeah,
part of the test. Yeah.
before she left the red room.
Watched
Yeah.
that scene 4 or 5 times. Bro,
It was
in
a
the film.
very traumatic
Yeah, yeah.
experience.
I
for
know,
you.
bro. But I would have rather I would have, if anything, if we were talking cameos, I would have loved a little something with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh,
I would have loved the moment, a powerful, strong moment with Scarlett Johansson.
That's never.
Do you know what I'm saying?
She never come back.
But
That check
I
would have
hear
been too
it,
much, though.
I
You
hear
know what I'm
it,
saying?
but that
Just
for
on
me
the-
that would have been great.
On the back of that, I feel like we would have had more. If we had less of that, I would have wanted more Ghost, because that's one
Yeah,
gripe I had.
yeah.
is
That's my biggest.
The-
That's one of my biggest gripes.
I would have wanted
As
more
much as-
Taskmaster.
We need to talk about Taskmaster.
Taskmaster is my biggest gripe.
as much as it was
Because-
like an
oh.
ensemble movie, it did feel like it wasn't very balanced with like how the characters were like, you know, the story of the characters. Like we had a lot of Florence and John and
Red
Bob,
Guardian as
obviously
well.
Red Guardian, but we
Yeah.
didn't have enough
On Ghost.
Ghost and Taskmaster
Yeah,
too.
because Ghost
but-
had like one-liners. Where there were some of the
Like,
lines she
they're
said
still
was
hit.
actually pretty
Yeah,
deep.
they
I
were
was like,
so
let's
deep
get
as well,
a
yeah.
little
I
bit
think
more context on what's
But-
going on.
Florence Pugh's character, Yelena, she even says it like, "Oh, we've all been through trauma." Okay, that kind of thing. Because I think, and this is my only thing, like going back to like especially like Ant-Man and the Wasp, things like that. Yeah, where Ant-Man and the Wasp, that movie is essentially all about Ghost. Do you know what I'm saying? So essentially all about her life or what's happened to her, how she was phased and then that, blah blah. So she really had this moment to talk about this. Do you know what I'm saying? And I just think
But who remembers what happened in Ant-Man and Wasp?
no one does. But
I did. Yeah,
What?
I
I
remember.
Because I feel like we
start
should have
finish.
got when it went into the void, we never got to see everyone else's.
Yeah, we didn't see her bit.
Everyone's like thing.
and I think that
think
would
we
have
should've got- I think we should've got
would have
one
been too long.
scene.
That would have been too
No,
long.
just one scene of Ghost just showing her. Because I think a lot of people don't actually remember who's Ghost and what's her backstory.
But she had her own stand. Like, but
Also-
it's essentially it was.
I
in-
think she's
Bro,
had her own
listen,
movie,
wait,
bro.
wait,
Like,
shit film,
like for
just said.
example,
Wait,
Val
what's
hasn't
that
had her own movie.
Wait, hang on. Just to add on that, yeah, the best part about Ghost's backstory was removed from the movie. You can only see it in deleted scenes, which are on Disney Plus for sure, but they cut them from the actual movie. And if we had seen those, I would have even had them just copy and paste them into Thunderbolts. It makes her character a lot more understandable, a lot more likable. Because without them, in Ant-Man and the Wasp, she just looks like a random, like, oh no, S.H.I.E.L.D. hurt me, the government hurt me, now I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
going to take your parents. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
I think to be fair, I think it was another mistake by them completely changing her actual suit. I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that really, really, really did her injustice. But because I just feel like that was kind of the character, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By giving her this kind of standard MCU kind of suit thing, I was just like, but I guess maybe it made sense how they want to have her face, like show her face and that kind of thing. But it wasn't, for me, it wasn't my liking still. I would have rathered we keep it back to that. But I think the movie had such a tone that it needed to be like a darker kind of thing.
You could have a black version of that one, the old one.
Is it?
Because she has a black version of that white suit.
Oh, so they should have just run that then. They should have just run that one.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense. 'Cause I think tone is very important, but you know, I mean, that's besides that, those are my only gripes with it. Really, I ain't got no gripes besides just the Elena scene. I would have rather a more important scene, but you know, besides that, I'm cool. Had a great time.
For me, I enjoyed obviously the action set pieces that we did get. I think obviously the Sentry fight with the guys at Watchtower now it's called.
Man.
You know what I mean? It was very, very good. Again, the stuff in the desert was great. The Bucky, basically the Bucky scene.
Yeah,
was very good.
I call that Terminator scene, bro.
Yes, essentially, yeah.
See how you reloaded the shotgun, just like
yeah.
Terminator. I feel like this one actually showed Bucky like how strong he actually is. I think in a lot of films, or even the TV show with him, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Like he was like his power level seemed like it dropped like drastically in that
Yes.
show because he had a bunch of teenagers essentially beating his ass. But in this one, I feel like it kind of.
Do you remember him in Civil War?
Oh yeah. He was.
Civil War. His best moment is obviously the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, of course.
Captain America Winter Soldier. That's his best. That's his swan song, bro.
I'm not gonna lie to you. There's some combat scenes in that.
Bro, great movie, bro. Great movie.
Bro. You know what I mean?
Long live the Russos, but sorry.
Long live the Russos. You need to talk about the Russos.
You get me?
For me, Taskmaster. Again, I assume they're gonna do the other kind of version of Taskmaster. I think that's probably what they're doing. But again, Taskmaster was in all the marketing stuff like that. Again, huge rewrite when they wanted to go into this version of the film. Because the Taskmaster was apparently in the previous version
she had a better role.
She had a better role in the previous.
I felt sorry for the girl, to be fair.
Oh yeah, because you see her in the promotion like she's
but I ain't gonna
dead
lie,
behind the eyes because she already knows.
That's a nice little gig though. Like I didn't really do much, but I'm here for the promo. I'm still getting paid.
But again, it's actors though. It's actors. Like for us. Oh, I'm getting a check. You can do whatever you like. I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? But actors, they want to be on screen. That's the thing, innit? Kind of thing. That's the reason why they do the thing. But like I did feel sorry for her. But my big thing, and I'm very surprised to be saying this, because I do love the actress because of Seinfeld.
I think I know.
It's really good, bro. Like
Julia.
Oh, you don't.
Yeah, Julia and Louis Dreyfus.
Yeah.
For me, that's not my Val, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Two different movies.
Yeah.
Again, I just feel like I wanted a whole different modality. She kind of leans a bit too much into comedy, like too much, and I just don't think she's the vibe, man. I just don't think she's got that dog in her as well.
I think in this one she didn't.
And she made such weird faces. Like even when like Bob went into her mind and we see her backstory about when her father died, even the face that she made was just so strange. That was the only thing I was like, that kind of took me out of the film a bit. Like if I'm trying to think who they could have casted, that would be better.
I think she's good, man.
Yeah. I don't think the casting's the issue. I think it's just like she had a very different arc in this one and it didn't really gel well with the rest of the film.
Yeah.
In my opinion. It's kind of like Nick Fury in the Marvels.
Yeah.
Oh, where like we've seen him be like super serious guy and then he's just like throwing jokes around, which isn't like bad or anything, but like it didn't fit the vibe of the movie.
Yeah.
Do you know what that fits? If they do like, you know, like you see it on Disney Plus a lot, they do like the shorts.
Oh, the one shots.
Yeah, the one shots, which are really good, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If they did a one shot for Nick Fury and something like that, subplot, boom, why not? Spin off, whatever. Call it what you want. That's great. But when you put it into a movie, and again, like it's the reason why things like movies like ensemble films like the Marvels don't work. You know what I'm saying? Because, and that's why I love the fact that we're kind of getting into a kind of era of like, I saw, I don't know which exec said it, but they said, it must have been Igar anyway, that they're not going to be concentrating too much. It was Kevin Feige.
Yep.
All the new Disney Plus things will probably be on all the kind of miscellaneous characters that you don't know about. Hence why we're getting things like Wonder Man. You know what I'm saying? Things like that to kind of let the new age come in. Whereas you don't really want to be seeing the on-screen characters
in the films,
from the films in the series, because unless it's going to be a big, massive series, let's say WandaVision, which was great up until the end, Captain America, Falcon and Winter Soldier, which was great up to the end. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be seeing these kind of household names on the screen, on the small screen. You want to see them on the big screen.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? And that's why, again, so going back to that, the point with the Nick Fury thing, these ensemble films that we don't know nothing about. Because if you didn't watch WandaVision, you don't know who Rambo is. You don't know who that is. If you didn't watch Miss Marvel, you don't know who Miss Marvel is. You just know Captain Marvel. You know what I'm saying? So it's great to see that Marvel is streamlining, using characters that are great characters, have great stories, and kind of just making a story about that and just making it stronger overall. Yeah. So hopefully in the future, you know what I'm saying, we get better films. And I think Fantastic Four, obviously the big reveal at the end, which was no surprise because we've already seen the lineup for Doomsday, so we already fucking know what's going to happen anyway. But I think that big reveal at the end fills me with a lot of hope that Fantastic Four is a film that's going to go in the right direction. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's being made by a great director, it's Shackman doing it. Yep. Who did WandaVision. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who has a great eye for that era of the 60s and the 50s, that kind of part of TV. He used to be child star as well. Do you know that? Yeah. Yeah, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to what Marvel are doing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're getting back to real narrative-driven stories. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what I want for cinema, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because it's great watching a superhero movie, bro. But I like the fact that our superhero films can be not considered just junk. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes. Yeah. I like to watch a superhero movie that I could be like, bro, like, did you watch? Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, Fantastic Four. You know what I'm saying? Do you see cinema? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And put them into big conversations.
These films are very important because these films are the westerns of our time, because these films then pay for other great films, other genre films, and other great directors to be able to make their films.
We said it already with Superman, the original Superman, bro. How much they took Superman, the OG Superman, as serious as if they were taking any other movie, bro. Yes. Any other blockbuster film. And that's what I want to see from Marvel, bro. Exactly. Take these movies seriously. If you're going to do it, take it as serious as if you was filming, you know what I'm saying, the next Oppenheimer. Again, not that serious, but you know what I'm saying?
Ryan Coogler did Fruitvale Station, and he took Black Panther as seriously as if he was making Fruitvale Station or Sinners. And it really, really came up, like, really was, the proof is in the pudding, you know, kind of thing. And for me, like, this film and it doing well is good for cinema, because more people go cinema, and the more people that go cinema, the more other great films that we made, and this wonderful tradition keeps on going, man. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the biggest thing, and it will be reflected in my score, is knowing that everyone is alive, kind of thing, because obviously the reveal of all the cast of the kind of next phase 6 and stuff like that of Doomsday, that I was remember how upset I was knowing that essentially everyone from Thunderbolts was going to be in the next films, kind of thing, and there was no jeopardy, kind of thing. And for me to still think that this is a great film, and for me to be invested emotionally, even though I know every one of these characters are going to be in the next film, wow, I was very surprised in that, and that will be reflected in my score. But guys, that's everything from me. What about you guys? Anyone else got any last thoughts before we?
Anything to say? Quick one. Now that it's been renamed to, obviously there was really great marketing with this film. That was really good. But obviously it's been renamed to the New Avengers. Does it mean that we now rank this with other Avenger films?
Ooh, that's a very good question.
That's a good question, but
that's
no.
a very good question.
I still put it, because it's New Avengers, isn't it? Yeah. I still put it as Thunderbolts. I don't think when you go cinema, can I see one ticket to New Avengers, please? I think they're still saying Thunderbolts. You know what I'm saying? So, but I hear it. I mean, it's great marketing, bro.
Yes.
Marketing.
You know
For me, it's great marketing, but again, this film, like through history, will be known as Thunderbolts. It won't be known as New Avengers.
And that's how you know it's a good movie.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Where the name's changed, but
to be fair, the only time where this was done, and Eli, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, Star Wars originally wasn't called A New Hope in 1977. I think it was just called Star Wars. And then canonically, like after the fact, retrospectively, it was George Lucas then called it New Hope and stuff like that, and then continued on from there.
Well, also, in retrospect, Superman was originally called Superman Legacy, but now it's gone back to Superman.
No, but that was a marketing change, so that doesn't count. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, right.
About to say. But yeah, again, for me, no, it's Thunderbolts. It's always going to be Thunderbolts.
Drop the scores, innit?
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, I had some final thoughts.
I'll go for it.
I just want to.
You didn't?
Me, no. Oh. I just want to shout out the way the editing for the fights was done. It wasn't the typical like smash jump cut here and there. They throw a punch, you jump to this angle. I liked how intimate the fights were, and again, you said earlier how it showed the strength of the characters. I liked how it showed us like that this character is really strong. Like if it kicks you, you're gonna feel it, you know. And it didn't take a massive power up scene or, you know, to show us that. You could feel it with just the regular like action. And for a film to invest me like that, where these are supposed to be superheroes and I'm caring about their hand-to-hand action, I thought that was really good. I just want to shout out whoever directed the choreography and whoever edited it actually as well. Yeah,
I believe that who edited the film was the same person that worked on Beef with Jay Schreier.
Yeah.
And also the same editor for Minari. So
he brought his whole team over, innit?
Yeah. Which was amazing, and credit to him for doing that.
Honestly, like, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And like the parallels. Sorry, I had one more thing. There were so many parallels to like the OG like 6, I want to say. Well, not necessarily the 6, but the 2 Captain America and Black Widow.
Yeah.
Like obviously John Walker says on your left.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, the bridge scene where Steve and Natasha, he throws her off the shield and then she jumps onto the Chitauri ship.
Yeah.
They recreated that in this one.
Yes.
Where like Red Guardian throws Yelena, and I almost shed a tear, man. That was just beautiful to see. But yeah, that's me.
Fair enough. Before we do our scores, I'll be remiss if I didn't mention the 2 post-credit scenes. One was more of a jokey one with Red Guardian and David Harbour kind of talking about like basically the setup with the Wheaties box and him being actually on the Wheaties box. So that was kind of funny. But the main thing, the Fantastic Four reveal kind of thing. Again, I'm hearing loads of kind of weird kind of theories. We mentioned one in one of our kind of chats in regards to people saying that it's actually like Doom is on there kind of thing. Like I was like, that's no
Doom's
way.
on the ship.
No way.
Say that Doom's hijacked the ship and is leading the way to 616.
I do feel like it's not really a reach. I feel like there's definitely more than just the 4 on that ship. I also don't feel like because the whole point of that ship is supposed to be like a life raft, like to save people. I also don't think this means that their universe is necessarily destroyed.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, there's a whole list, but if you look at the timeline, the way things are set up, like from Brave New World to where we are now, it sets that post-credit scene in 2029, right? Which is the universe that obviously Deadpool, Wolverine, Logan's supposed to end up in, and that's where a lot of like the incursions are starting to happen, right? So I don't think it's necessarily the Fantastic Four universe being destroyed, but I feel like it's a collective of destroyed universes, because like it literally says on the scene, like there's been a space crisis happening, right? So it's not just the one in Fantastic Four. There's a load of things that are going wrong. So I feel like that ship's been collecting a bunch of people from either incursioned universes, and it's just like bringing them to here now, so they can, I don't know, whatever. So I don't know. I don't think it ruins anything. I feel like it just excites me more. Like, I'm already starting to put my theory cap on and making all these things. So I don't know. I'm excited for it.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I'm excited for it.
Chris?
I'm excited for it. I just feel Fantastic Four, bro. I was like, jeez, come on.
Mate.
To be fair, at the screening we went to, sorry, Junior, there was a whole kind of Fantastic Four.
It's my face.
Yeah. There was a Fantastic Four kind of like countdown.
That was sick.
And you know what's funny? Yeah. He said, bro, are they gonna show us Fantastic Four by accident?
I was like, we got a special screening by accident.
Did they mess up the reels and give us the actual, the goods?
Put the wrong movie in there. But no, bro, honestly, either way, when I saw the post credit, I kind of didn't think it was going to be something as simple as the Fantastic Four. Like, all right, now they're in the 616. This is like what's going to happen at the end of Fantastic Four when that movie drops. I felt it's going to be a bit, or I hope it's a bit more intricate than that.
Yes.
But after watching the film and then watching all the other reviews, not reviews, but all the other like things that are being said online, I saw Florence Pugh say that end scene was directed a few weeks ago by the Russo brothers. I know the Russo brothers are quite on the nose, so that's probably literally what happens at the end of Fantastic Four.
Oh wow!
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm hoping it isn't,
bro. I didn't know that. That's actually wow.
I'm hoping it's a bit more deeper than that, but them man are quite, you know what I'm saying?
It is gonna be deeper than that. I'm telling you, like, it can't be that easy.
I hope.
I mean, you say that, but then if you go back in time, bro, and just watch, let's say Endgame, for example. I feel like you specifically, I feel like you probably theorized enough of that movie.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, theorized Endgame.
Yeah.
Well, but that's because there was only one route that could go. Fantastic Four could go anywhere.
Well, I'm just saying it. I just feel like it's if they're smart, they'll bring back Miles Teller and slap him on that ship as
Oh.
the maker.
Mate,
Do you know what I'm
the
saying?
maker,
If
God.
they're really serious and do something different with it like that, but if they're not, it's just them man coming into the, you know what I'm saying, 616. So we'll see, innit?
Imagine if they.
Good
imagine
post
if
credit, bro. Either way,
It was
it
sick.
makes
I
you
would-
think, innit? Either way, a good post credit scene
And
makes
the
you think.
suits.
Like, the best thing about it is the longest post credit scene Marvel have ever done. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best because it's been years since we've had a post credit scene that
That's
actually
been pushed.
fucking means anything. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's the story.
In Captain America: Brave New World, they're coming. Who the fuck is coming, bro?
Fantastic
Do you
Four,
know
bro.
what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, whatever. It could be anyone, bro. It could be Doctor Doom.
It could be me.
It could be him. You know what I'm saying? It could be anyone. So yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. Thoroughly.
Yes, and I think also the fact that Sentry has to reignite his power, so to speak, and them kind of setting that up is interesting as well.
Yeah.
And when that will happen, and so that again, a lot of things. One other gripe, I didn't like the S.
What?
That's
Sentry
combo
Gun?
S.
accurate, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that was peak. What do you mean?
Nah, there's
I wouldn't say
there's-
peak.
No, there's a couple. There's
The
a
S
couple
is
of other
peak.
essays.
The suit wasn't great, but
The suit wasn't
S
great.
I'm
was-
hoping that when we see the next iteration of his suit, because the thing is, bro, he wears a goofy ass suit anyway. In general, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we get something a bit more streamlined, something that's a bit more. It's yellow and blue, bro. How can you make it look cool?
Mate, the people chose it. Like, if you look at the scene, they had test runs, and people were like, "We need the gold hair, the
Oh
blonde hair."
yeah,
sorry,
they actually
and
had.
the
They
suit."
literally had percentages. Which is
Well,
hilarious.
not us, like people in the Marvel.
Yeah, they tested it,
They
yeah.
picked it.
I mean, bro, obviously, it's like I said again, innit? I'm just hoping that we just get something a bit more cooler looking. But
Yeah.
how cool can you make it? You know what I'm saying? We've got Superman running, he's got his pants out again, so and they're making that look decent. So.
Hey, listen, James Gunn can do no wrong, so I'm not having it. I'm not having any
We'll
James
see.
Gunn rage here. Anyway, guys, scores. Eli.
Me first. Wow. I'm gonna go for a strong 8.5.
Oh, we do out of 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Junior.
10. I'll say strong 8. It'll be 8.
8. Okay. Triz.
8.5.
And you already know me, 8.5 as well, man. This was a
way.
very, very solid
This
film.
is surprising. I've never seen
For me,
this guy.
and the reason why I give it, like as I mentioned before, as I said before, 0.5 for the fact that I was invested and locked into this film, even though I knew everyone was alive. And remember that it was at a working man screening when I was the disappointment I was telling you about. The fact that I knew
Oh, when
everyone
the-
from
when the
Thunderbolts
seats
was
were-
alive.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was so
I
disappointed
do
about
remember
that.
you said that when he was leaving, he was like, fuck. He was just thinking about it still.
Yeah, I was just I was still fuming at like 10 something at night time. I was still fuming about that. But again, that's all forgiven. I was very, very happy with the film, and it got a 0.5 extra on top, so 8.5.
Cool.
Fair.
Yeah.
Nice.
So guys, thank you so much. This
Nah,
was
thanks for
a
having us, man.
outstandingly thorough review, and I'm saying appreciate you, man. And please, guys, in the comment section, let us know what you think about the film. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Bell notification, as Mo always says. And yeah,
What you did it for? Survey says. Why did you do it like that?
I
What
don't
was
know
that
why.
about?
I don't know why.
What the hell?
I have no idea. I have no idea, guys. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Cool.